Hello, I'm Joanne,
And I'm Anna.
and today we're going to show you the basic cast on and bind offs in knitting, and those are the ones that we use the most.
Remember to get your quick guide for this content, and if you decide to upgrade to the Super Pack, you're gonna get that free content and enter giveaways.
Thank you.
Thank you!
There are different ways to cast on, and this is the basic one. I'm going to show you the ones that I use most. So leave a long tail depending on the amount of stitches that you want to use, and make your slip knot and put your needle in there. So this is the end of the yarn, the tail, and this is the working yarn. So place your thumb on over the needle, around, pick up with your needle and knit. This is going to be the same as the long tail cast on, but this is done in a different way. So around, pick up and knit. So this is a flexible cast on. Around, put your needle in there and knit. Around, put your needle in there and knit. And it comes very nicely. Be careful when you knit the first row so that it doesn't have too much of a distance between one stitch and the other. So this is the cable cast on, and leave a short tail, just enough to weave in. Make your slip knot and put your needle there. So with your right hand needle, you're going to knit that stitch, pull, twist, and cast on. So you go into the stitch, knit it, pull, twist, and cast on. Go into the stitch, knit it, pull, twist, and cast on. Again, you go into the stitch, knit it, pull, twist, and cast on. Now if you want a sturdier stitch, what you want to do is go in between the two stitches, so you have that whole stitch in the right. So go in between the two stitches, knit, pull, twist, and cast on. Go in between the two stitches, knit, pull, twist, and cast on. In between the two stitches, knit, knit, pull, twist, and cast on. In between the two stitches, knit, pull, twist, and cast on. This is a very nice way of casting on and very sturdy. It's not flexible. So this is how you do the long tail cast on. You're going to leave the amount of yarn that you need, depending on the amount of stitches that you need, and you're going to make your slip knot. So now you pick up your slip knot, your loop, and put the short tail goes in the back, and put your two fingers like so and make a sling. So now you're going to pick up the front and pick up the back and pass it through. So pick up the front, pick up the back and pass it through. Pick up the front, pick up the back and pass it through. And with your thumb, you tighten that stitch. See? So again, you pick up the front, pick up the back and pass it through, and with your thumb you tighten the stitch. Pick up the front, pick up the back, and with your thumb you tighten the stitch, and this makes it a very nice. This is the one that I use the most, and this is the one that most people use the most. So very nice finish. Just a trick that I want to show you, if you are not sure on the amount of yarn that you need for the stitches that you want for your work, you pick up your needle and go around it very softly, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is enough for 10 stitches. And now you can take it off and you can start casting on. There are different ways to make a provisional cast on, but this is the one that I use the most. And I start with a crochet hook and scrap yarn. And let's say that I want to cast on 10 stitches. So I'm going to make maybe about 13 or 14 chains with a crochet hook. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, let's say 14. And then I'm going to make sure that I make a knot on this side, because this is the side that you need to pull when you're done with your work. Okay, so now you have your chain there, and you're going to turn it and pick up the bumps from the back of the chain. So see those little bumps there? Make sure and pick up the bumps or it's not going to work. So pick up those bumps in the back with your working yarn. So this is the yarn that I'm going to be using for my work. And I am going to pick up a stitch and then go into the next bump. Let's see where it is, right there. And I am going to pick up the next bump and the next bump. And when you're done with your work and you're going to be having live stitches, so you're going to be able to work one side with the other if you want to make a scarf. And this is done mainly for things like a Kitchener stitch, when you want to sew one side with the other. So once you have all your stitches, you can start knitting. So turn, and now you start knitting normally, and this stays there. And when you're done, pick up the side that has the knot and pull. For the German cast on, you're going to leave a long tail depending on the amount of stitches that you need, and you make your slip knot. Put your needle in there, and now you make your sling the same as the long tail cast on. And you're going to pick up the 2 stitches from underneath, and now pick up the first stitch, the first strand from underneath. Now you go and pick up the back strand from your index finger and pass it through that gap right in there. Let go and pull. So let's do that again. Go underneath the 2 strands, underneath the first one, pick up the back strand and pass it through that gap there. And let go and pull. Again, go underneath the 2 stitches, underneath the first one, go pick up the back and pass it through that gap and pull. Again, you go underneath the 2 stitches, underneath the first strand, pick up the back and pass it through that gap there. So once more, you go pick up the 2 strands, go underneath the first one, pick up the back strand from your index finger and pass it through. So German cast on. So this is the easy basic bind off. What you do here is that you want to knit the first stitch, knit the second stitch, pick up, pinch that first stitch and pass it over the second one. So now you have 1, but you need 2. So now you have another one. Pinch the first one and pass it over the second one. So knit another one. Pinch the first one and pass it over the second. So again, knit, pinch, and pass. Knit, pinch, and pass. And this is the way it looks. Let me get this one straight. Let me make a few more. Knit and pass. Knit and pass. Knit and pass. So this is the way it looks. See? Like a chain. For the crochet hook bind off, you want to pick up that first stitch and pass your yarn through. Then you go and pick up the next stitch and pass your yarn through that one and the one previous to that one. So again, you go and pick up the next and pass your yarn through both stitches. So again, you go into the next one, pass your yarn through both stitches. Again, you go into the next stitch and pass your yarn through both stitches. Go into the next stitch, pass your yarn through that one and the one you had. Again, you go into the next one and pass your yarn through both stitches. And that's the way it looks. So very pretty, very neat. But it's not what binding off in pattern means. So here I was doing knit 1, yarn over, knitted together. Knit 1, yarn over, knitted together. So I want to bind off in pattern, and therefore I am going to continue with it. So here I'm going to knit 1, yarn over and pass through, so I'm binding off, and knit it together and bind off. So knit 1, bind off, yarn over, bind off, and knit 2 stitches together and bind off. So again, let's do that. knit 1, bind off, yarn over, bind off, and knit 2 stitches together. So see, like this, I'm following the same pattern so that the stitches that fall continue with the same as what I was doing. So knit 1, bind off, yarn over, bind off, and knit 2 stitches together and bind off. And there you have it. This is how you bind off purlwise. So you purl the first one and purl the second stitch. And I usually take my yarn to the back to get it out of the way and pinch the first one, pass it through the last. Then bring my yarn to the front and purl. Bring my yarn to the back and pass it over. Bring my yarn to the front, purl, pass my yarn to the back and pass it over. Bring my yarn to the front and purl, bring it to the back and pass the first stitch over. Bring my yarn to the front, purl, bring my yarn to the back, just to get it out of the way. It's not necessary. Some people leave it in the front, but it just stays there. I don't like it very much. So purl, bring your yarn to the back and pass over. Bring your yarn to the front and purl, and it gives it a very nice finish. So this is what a 3-needle bind off is about. So I'm going to take my 2 pieces of yarn or whatever I want to put together, and I'm going to face right side with right side. So the wrong side is on the outside, on both. So now I put my stitches all the way to the edge, right there. And I'm going to use another color yarn so that you can see better what I'm doing. You're going to pick up 1 stitch from the front and 1 stitch from the back. Let me grab these so that they don't slide off me. So this is my new yarn. This is the yarn that I'm going to be using, and you're going to knit both stitches together, the front and the back. Now you go in and pick up another one from the front, one from the back, knit them and take them off the needles, and the first stitch is going to go over the second one. So again, pick up 1 from the front, 1 from the back, and knit them together. Take them off your needles, and the first one goes over the second one. Again, pick up 1 from the front, 1 from the back, and knit them together. Take them off your needles, and 1 goes over the other one. So through here. And now when you put the 2 pieces together, see, it's very, very nicely done, and it almost, the blue doesn't show much. This is the Sewn Bind Off, and I have about 3 times the amount of yarn of the width. So what you want to do is that you want to go and pick up 3 stitches, like right there. Pass your yarn through, and then only at the beginning you go and pick up that last stitch from front to back and let go of that one. So now you're going to go and pick up the next 2 stitches, so those 2 with another one, so you have 3 in total. So you go in there and let go of the first. So again, pick up 1, 2, 3 stitches, this yarn has to go on top, and let go of the first. I am going to knit that one and the next through the back loops like so. Knit together through the back loops. Now I have that stitch on my right hand needle and I'm bringing it to the left hand needle together with all the others. So again, I take that one and the next and I knit them through the back of the loops. There we go. And I bring that one from the bottom to the top like that, and I bring that to the left hand needle. Another way of binding off is without knitting. So what you want to do is your yarn is going to stay there. Pass that stitch knitwise, pass the next one, and the first one goes over. So you pass another one, and the first one goes over. Pass the next one knitwise, and the first one goes over.